You know, I always wanted to get into fighting games. It's that one. That saying right there. It's the saying that's plagued the fighting game community for... When was the wheel made? People want to enjoy what others are, but then fight someone, or sometimes something better than them. And they, of course, lose, get upset, drop the game, and don't return. Thus, the circle of life repeats. You probably do like fighting games. You just haven't found the fighting game you like. Let me give you my story. I joined the scene with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. An assist-heavy, 3-on-3, insane to comprehend mess. And I love it dearly. So eventually, I wanted to branch out, see what else is on the market. Lo and behold, Skullgirls, another assist-heavy, 3-on-3, insane to comprehend mess. And it has big bands, so it has to be better. But I didn't like it. The game looks great, the game feels good to play. Hell, even its single player is enjoyable. That's another can of worms. And yet, it just never sat well with me. This was my first Steam purchase ever. If I hadn't had Marvel 3 to play before Skullgirls, I most likely would have never stuck with another one again. Hi, the name's Gladiated, but you can call me G, and this is why you probably do like fighting games. Sometimes games just miss. KOF 15, everyone was hyping it up. The game looked, people make fun of it, but I think it looks fine. Bought it day one, hopped in, and boy did I get robbed. Game was just bread and butter combos into spend 5 bars and delete their life bar. The online did not work. The game felt like it was trying to be 2 things at once, and I will never trust Kizzy a day in my life ever again. Then there was Guilty Gear Strive. I didn't even want the game initially. Sure, it looked visually amazing, but movement looked off. Damage was so high for no reason. And how do I play this game without 17A? What? Regardless, a friend gifted a copy to me. I played Anji and Leo, and still not great. Honeymoon phase was fun, but after that, I'm out. Then come Testament release. I picked the game back up, play Testament, and don't like him. Then Gold Lewis, and oh wow, he's awesome. I beat CPU and Tickle Me More in bracket. That's gotta mean something. I mean, out of the entire FGC fighting game community, the most common game you see people play besides Strive is Smash. I don't know why didn't I say Street Fighter? Disregarding the argument of if it's a fighting game, it's not hard to see why people gravitate to both these titles. Relatively easy to pick up games with a lot of unique characters, and being a pretty ass game sure helps. Still crazy that Ultimate looks the way it does, and yet Pokemon couldn't figure it out like, what, 5 years later? Anyways, back to this. I've always wanted to get into fighting games. I mean, frankly, why wouldn't you? Competition is always so passionate, so hype. And yet through that feeling of 1,000 eyes beaming you, it still feels human at the end of the day. This clip from TNS running Marvel 3 is, man, full of heart and soul.
Everyone from New York, they're cheering.
Now see, there's one part we missed. We got the FG, but we gotta talk about the C. The community surrounding fighting games is unlike any other esport, without question. Learning that when Punk got interviewed after winning Capcom's official tournament series.
Do you have any thoughts about how you are gonna prepare for that kind of extremely talent-dense tournament again?
Nah, I'm gonna just play Guilty Gear.
People still stay shit-talking. People still hold money matches. People still show up for a random bracket match like 6 sets before Grands. And that right there is something pretty absent in modern gaming. I mean, it's not hard to see why. You're not rooting for a region or a team. You're rooting for just one guy and if they're gonna win or not. Which loops back to a huge point why people don't play them. When you load into any fighting game, it doesn't matter which. There will be 2 players. One will win and the other will lose. This is inevitable. There is no way around this, which means that when you do eventually lose, you say to yourself either A, they were better, or B, I am bad. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but what happens when you lose 2 matches? 3? 5? 10? When this happens in other competitive games, you have other factors to consider. Sometimes maps are the problem. Sometimes teammates are the problem. Even if you are the weak link, you aren't the only one in the chain. But in a fighting game, you aren't a chain. You're a rope. You can't hold steady until you can tie the knot. Losses are fine. This is the biggest thing you can say. Losses are fine. If you couldn't lose, why would winning matter? Don't go into matches with the goal of winning. Wait, no, that sounds bad. Winning is fun. A lot of people don't know that. Go in with other goals, like landing a combo you practice. Learn how to approach with your character. Find an easy way to control the game flow. Especially that one. I always gravitate to that one. The goal ain't always gotta be win, win, win. Because if you can't lose, you'll never truly win. If there's something upsetting you because an option is too powerful, chances are there's always something you can do about it. A group of friends started playing MVCI when Beyond dropped, and a lot of them were getting upset at this double laser move Strange does. but a good chunk of characters can crouch under it, super jump covers the whole screen, and it's super duper bad on whiff. Fighting games, for the most part, aren't bad anymore, so options aren't typically uncounterable. And a big thing, they don't make them like they used to, man. If you're not competing, you can win with any character in any game, period. But strawmanning for a sec, if you do plan on competing, not every character is capable of winning if it's before 2012. If you're in 2025 complaining that you can't win with Bardock, you gotta get it together. It's strange I have to say this, but if you go to your average tier list and see that Storm is the best character, it does not mean you're beating Bro's Juggernaut just by picking the better character. It's not happening. If you don't play the character you like, you will probably just not have fun. If you don't have fun, you drop the game. That's just math. Take the Strive example. My day ones were Leo and Anji. I wanted to play Anji more, but he was bottom 2 and Leo was top 3. So I ended up playing Leo more, but I was enjoying the game a lot less because of it. And when I say Anji was bad, I mean Farslash did not combo into Fujin bad. I eventually dropped Leo altogether and toughed it out. I mean, Anji had spin being inconsistent, Parry Super, which was inconsistent, and Ko, which was insanely broken and was nerfed during the first balance patch. Who's smoking that Anji pack? I dropped them both for Gold Loose eventually anyways, but that's because he was good and fun, which I value a mix of. Some people like the Perfectors more, and some people think it's awesome that the 12-year-old has a dolphin. But once a player has one of those, what the hell are they supposed to do? Besides any Netherrealm fighting game, which you shouldn't play because they're ass, it's a pretty common outcome that fighting games have horrible single-player content. More specifically, story modes. One of the biggest outliers being Street Fighter V not even launching with one, which is wow. If a player doesn't have a way to practice against an enemy in an isolated setting, what are we even doing here? Here's a fun one for you. And one hell of a detour, but stay with me. Pokemon Close Combat. I said stay with me! If you beat the arcade mode without dropping a game, you get to fight a secret final boss, Gorachu, which is a concept art for a Raichu evolution before Pichu existed, and he Heihachi laughs when you die. It's cool. If you manage to beat that, which takes a long time, by the way, the game gives you a QR code? Let's see. I'm gonna shoot myself between the eyes! Cool. Yep, they made the Hall of Fame for anyone who could beat the final boss. And each character has one. This is the bare minimum, and yet still games fail at this. As mentioned before, the best example of this is a Netherrealm game, like Injustice, but you ain't catching me dead on that, so you do you. This has to be the most important point. So I should have put it earlier, but we don't worry about that. You are immediately going to enjoy any game more if you play it with a friend. And the same is true here. Difference here is they're less of your buddy here and more of like a sparring partner. Wow, that's cringe. As you improve, they improve. If you ever want to have a good time, record yourself playing a fighting game and come back to it like, say a month later. You'll both laugh at how bad y'all were and where you are now. I still remember hitting one of the worst DBFZ combos of my life and popping off like crazy. Then later for a combo contest, I made this. This game is so good. Why does it have to be bad? Even if you don't have a buddy as mentally insane as you to drag into one, find one. I met plenty of great people just through playing the games I love. Oh, extra piece of advice? Try and find someone better than you. If you have someone to play against who you acknowledge is better than you, pick at their brain. Try to see from a different angle what you're doing and why it would or wouldn't work. I've always wanted to get into fighting games. We invented cars now. You don't need that no more. Just go start. Who's gonna stop you? You don't go into debt by picking up DJ. It's not that serious. It kind of sucks that you gotta have an outline to enjoy something, but the truth is, it's just my outline. It's just what I use to judge if I want to play a game or not. If I don't like a game, I move on. If the community is terrible, Guilty Gear Strive, I go next. I focus on learning a character in the game rather than winning. I pick who looks the most fun. I avoid single player at all costs, and I ask friends to play with me. It's like learning a sport, say soccer. You know you gotta get the ball to the other side. You know you can't use your hands. Everything else you learn on your own. And the people you play with keep you engaged. Go have your fun. Oh, and pick up 2XKO when it drops. Oh my god, that game's gonna take over. Have a good one.